Hi there. I've had a lot of questions about this pattern, and so I'm gonna just try to do a little video without rolling my eyes because I have a tendency to do that when I'm thinking. Anyway, so I want you to see sweetredpoppy.com is where I got the pattern, the initial pattern from, but you can see there's others here, sweetredpoppy.com. So that is the basis. So I have adjusted this pattern a little bit. She says to use a 9x7, okay? And I've done that. I'm using 3 layers. I'm using a cotton layer, an interfacing layer, and a flannel layer. The flannel and interfacing are cut 9x7. The outer piece is cut 10.5x7, okay? So the first thing that I'm gonna do is come over here to my ironing board, give the outer piece a press, and I like to just turn in, you can zoom in, Megs. I like to turn in my 1/4 inch seam allowance. This does not have to be measured by any means, but turn it in. This is gonna make it easier at the very end when you do it all, okay? So turn that in, turn it back right side up, place my flannel piece on there, and I just center it because this is not a time to be a perfectionist. Press that, put your layer on there, okay? Then go to your sewing machine, which I'm not gonna do because I've already done this step, okay? Go to your sewing machine and you can see I sewed a 1/4 inch top and bottom, okay? Then what you wanna do is turn this right side out, okay? And you have to have your interfacing piece on the outside because that's how it gets to the inside when you turn it. And don't ask me how many years it took me to figure that out, but I have it down now. So turn this right side out, give it a little press. Then the one question I was asked is how you get the wire in. Then I take it to my machine and I do a seam up here after it's folded, and I make it bigger than a 1/4 inch. It's about 3/8 of an inch. And then I have my, okay, Megan, zoom in on this. This is the wire that I had in my garage, so I didn't have to go buy anything. It's pretty heavy duty, but I really like the way it turns out. So what I did was I cut, zoom in down here because I can see it better. I cut a 6-inch piece, and then I used my needle nose pliers and I bent the ends in so that there's no pokiness, okay? So then what you wanna do is take this, and what I normally do is I mark 6 inches, and I will go ahead and sew up one edge. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. So let's see, where's my mark? We're gonna sew up this inch first. So I'm just gonna close this off, okay? And then I'm gonna stick my wire in, stuff it in there good. And then if I don't know where my mark is, but I just wanna close this up and not sew over the wire, just so that whoops, and then I came unthreaded. You just want to sew this up so that your wire doesn't move about in there because these are going to be washed a lot and dried. If I could see better. Did that go through? It did. Okay. Where was I? Right there. Whoops. I'm still going backward. Okay, now you've got your wire in there. Now, the very last step is, remember we folded these in, so it's easier now to just fold it over to make your casing, okay? Let me get this where it won't come unthreaded again. Whoops. So you want to fold it over, you're going to sew it, if I can get my thread. Okay. make sure that you backtrack at your edges because you don't want that to come out. And I know that us quilters aren't used to that. And then you're just going to sew this down. Ouch. Okay, I kind of got off track there. But like I said, we're not into precision. These are going to be put on a face and nobody's going to look at them. Okay. And as long as you didn't miss any spots, which I did, but I'll go back over that. Then let's go back over to the table. Okay. I have my approximately 45 to 48 inch piece of single fold 1/2 inch bias tape, which I went to the machine and I folded the ends in and I folded it in half and I just stitched it. Okay. So then you're going to need a safety pin, if you can get it through there. And the way that I was doing this is I thread it up through, and if you've sewed at all, you should know this, how to do a safety pin thread. So then you're just going to thread this through. Now, one thing that I wanted to say that I did notice, the first one of these that I was putting on and pulling this kind of tight because this is bias tape and it's going to have some stretch to it, is I think it popped a couple of the stitches. And to have that not happen, you might want to use, and my little machine I'm using over there only does a straight stitch because it's an old machine, but I may switch and use a slight zigzag stitch to stitch this up, and then that would give it a little give, and it wouldn't do that. And the other option is, if you don't have bias tape, to just cut strips of fabric, and they don't have to be biased, they can just be straight, and then fold them in to make a tube like this, a small tube. And then that's gonna, if you cut on the straight grain of the fabric, it's not gonna have as much give to it. So that is how I put these together. And let's see, I should have had this already out for you to see what it looks like. Okay, here's one. This is the one that we did yesterday that's all done. So you can see then it's one continuous bias tape up and down, and then putting it on is super easy. I like to, it works best if you put it over your ears like this. The wire is right here, and then you're just going to take this to the back and cinch it up, and that cinches this up real nice, so that there's no gaps here and there's no gaps. It fits your chin really well, and then this is fitted around each person's nose, and this mask should fit a man or a woman. So I hope that answers all your questions, and happy sewing. Bye.